Only on WRAL, a Durham police officer coming forward tonight to warn the city's residents they are not as safe as they might think.
Numbers from the police organization show almost 20% of the 537 sworn positions in Durham are vacant right now. And the worst part, the officer says criminals know it and capitalize on it. WRAL's Durham reporter Sarah Kruger is live outside the police headquarters with this investigation you'll see only on WRAL. Sarah?
Deborah, I've been in touch with this officer for months now, and he said finally it got to the point that it was so bad here that someone on the inside of the department needed to speak up.
For months, WRAL has reported on problems at the Durham Police Department. Now we're hearing about them firsthand from a 20-year veteran officer who didn't want to be identified for fear of being fired. We have altered the officer's voice.
Honestly, I feel like the citizens of Durham need to know that they're not as protected as they think they are on a regular basis.
The officer says that's because the department is struggling to retain and recruit. Last month, we reported that in one particularly violent weekend with 5 shootings, police in Durham were operating with only about half the positions filled. According to the officer, that is not uncommon.
One major incident like the one at Central, that completely shuts the city down when those 2 people were killed in the parking deck.
Do you think criminals know that?
Absolutely, yes. They know, they can tell when we're short-staffed. They absolutely know when and what they can get away with.
The officer blames the staffing issues on a lack of support from city leaders, which city leaders have refuted in previous WRAL stories, and on a toxic environment at the hands of DPD senior leaders, also on pay. Durham's starting salary is lower than any neighboring department I asked.
I've seen bad times, but the pendulum had always swung back our way. This time it's swung so far in the negative, I don't know it would ever come back.
And the officer told me he is feeling optimistic about the new chief here who just started earlier this month, as well as some new leaders who are coming onto city council. I did reach out to Durham Police to see if they wanted to respond to this story. They told me in a statement that recruiting has been a challenge across the nation over the last year, but they are still constantly researching strategies for recruiting and retaining officers. Deborah.
Sarah Kruger, live in Durham. Thank you, Sarah. This is a piece of WRAL's larger investigation into staffing shortages and their impact on public safety in Durham. An hour ago, Joe Fisher told you about the issues in the sheriff's office right now. And then Sarah has also tracked problems at the 911 center and the efforts to correct them. Read up on these issues with our Investigates coverage on WRAL.com.